Woo! What day is it? What time is it? We're like, we're down to the wire. We're like halfway through our film shoot for all of our incredible new film content for This Is It. We're at Culver City Sound Stages. In fact, this is the home of Thriller and Smooth Criminal. This is where Michael and his wonderful, talented, creative team and dancers did those two incredible works of art. And we're now here doing new film content for the show.
My first meeting with Michael Jackson was in 1987. I am one of the original dancers in Smooth Criminal. What I remember most, because it crossed over to being part of This Is It tour, was Michael was so involved in every aspect of the production.
This is your slide to, Mark. Turn around, Mark. And then once you do this, then you'd be...
I got involved with this project, and it started with a phone call from Michael Cotton, the production designer. Michael called me and he told me that he was involved with the Michael Jackson This Is It concert tour, and he asked me if I'd be available to come to a meeting with Kenny Ortega. We went into a room, and myself, Michael Cotton, Kenny Ortega, and Michael Jackson sat at a table, and Michael Jackson spent the next 12 hours describing everything visual that was supposed to happen at the This Is It concert in London.
There were pieces that we did that, although were huge successes as short films, that he thought were fun to refresh without throwing out the integrity of what they once meant, but that there were some fresh new ideas that kept them, fun and stimulated. And so Smooth Criminal was one of those.
Smooth Criminal had a story already with it, that came from long ago. The hard part was realizing this vintage look. It was really fun and easy in a brief meeting to say, let's have Michael interact with the great gangsters of the period. But boy, to get that footage and make it work, and you'll see, it looks fantastic.
Of the three films that we were commissioned to do, Smooth Criminal was the only 2D piece. What it is it's a film noir-like piece that occurs in the 30s or 40s with a cast of characters like Edward G. Robinson, Humphrey Bogart, Rita Hayworth, and Michael Jackson interacting and literally in the scenes of nightclubs with Rita Hayworth singing this wonderful jazzy song, and at one point she strips off a glove and she throws it out to the audience, and the person that jumps up and catches it is Michael Jackson.
The vision was to put him in with all of the original gangsters. So the first challenge was to find the footage that Michael Jackson would be shot against.
We would try film after film in public domain, and we would try everything possible, and we'd finally get something that kind of worked. And then there would either be a creative note from Michael or Kenny that's, hey, we really don't like that because you changed that. And or it'd be a licensing issue. Well, you can't have that. It was literally a house of cards. He'd pull one shot out and the whole thing would collapse, and it would be starting over from scratch. We'd get another 20 films in here. We would digitize them all, and we'd just start scrubbing through and trying to find a way to build this story.
The most important thing, of course, is with this technology of throwing somebody into an old movie that Michael just wants to make sure that it's seamless, that you really feel that he is in that.
Put the blame on me.
We came upon the Gilda footage, and she had thrown this thing, and we thought, wouldn't it be great if, he could catch the glove, and then there was the whole connection with the glove thing, and we realized we'd really landed on a gem, and then we, built that story from that point on, and fortunately, licensing worked with us, and everybody, it just came together magically, and the piece works quite well.
Speeding.
And Gilda's singing. And beautiful. Looking at you. She wants you. She takes off that glove and she throws it to you.
So we're placing him in the scenes, and then of course cuts with Bogart looking at it and back with Michael looking at him. And so we placed him in this very interesting scenario that ultimately is about gangsters chasing gangsters, to coin Kenny's term.
And cut. That was a good one.
Let's cut.
Clearly, Michael's the guy that catches the glove from the pretty girl, and the other guys don't like it, so the chase is on, and then they, you know, run outside, and there's shoot 'em up scenes and down alleys. After he runs into the rooftop, we want to get him down one floor into this
Beautiful.
room.
So he's going to come down with a winding staircase.
No, it's a little more simple than that.
So he would come through that door.
Opens the door, comes down the stairs, and however he wants to
Stop there.
Our goal was to make Michael look like he was really in those movies.
Rolling.
And the way we do that is through shooting him in a manner that matches into the action of the film. If there's a staircase in the film, we have to build a green screen staircase that's shaped geometrically exactly like the one in the film. So we really had to go to great lengths not only to find these clips, but then build the sets that would enable Michael Jackson to do the exact same action as the character in the movie.
Okay.
At one point, he was going to jump through that plate glass window, which did involve originally a stunt where we were going to have him jump off of, you know, just a 4-foot riser, probably onto a pad. But we chose at the end not to actually even let him know we were going to do that, because Kenny knew for a fact that he would insist on doing it, and nobody wanted Michael to, you know, run the risk that he might get hurt.
The recoil from a 38, which is what this is pretty slight for a guy who used it. It's going to be more like...
Michael Jackson was a very detail-oriented person, and he would hone in on the details on set.
He doesn't miss a thing. He sees everything.
You know, Michael was very savvy. He had done so many films, as you know, over the years that, you know, he kind of knew everything. It was interesting. He knew what each department head did and all of that. And,
Is he just here to safety in case anybody trips or anything?
you know, Michael's a filmmaker. You know, really, he is a storyteller. Had he chosen to direct films amongst the many talents he had, he probably would have been a very talented director.
Hey, Mickey.
If Michael goes like this, put your hands up.
Michael really had the vision in his head, and it was up to us as the producers carrying out that vision to realize it in the manner that he described it. He was a very good communicator. He was really able to describe these visions in a manner that, you know, gave you a real sense of what it was he was looking for.
He was concerned about the lighting and the sets and the movement, and it was just amazing to watch him be invested and involved in the project.
Okay, Bruce?
Yes, sir.
Rehearsed and Michael was great. We can do this. Are you ready to shoot? Yep.
Okay, guys, let's shoot this up. All right, here we go. Ready? We are rolling.
Stand by. And action. Bogey.
What do you want me to do, count 3 like they do in the movies?
At one point, he turns and kicks some boxes and knocks Bogart back, who then jumps back with a Tommy gun and starts shooting him. And Michael turns and then jumps through a plate glass window, slow-mo, with bullets zinging by him and glass spraying out. On the tour, we'd be seeing this on this 100 by 30-foot screen.
Well, you're not, then there's a moment, and Michael stands up on the stage.
And then boom, a spotlight would come on, and it would be Michael in person picking up a Tommy gun and then turning and shooting out the lights of this marquee. It all sizzles for a minute, and then it reveals Smooth Criminal. We presented the cut, and it was fantastic. I recall that Kenny threw up his arms and, you know, clapped and loved it.
It's great. Oh, you can't say.
It's
Tap me on the shoulder next time. Let's do it again. You ready? Oh, I was gonna do it again. It is great. Well, if it is, it is.
It turned out unbelievable, better than I would have ever thought. Michael loved it. He loved that whole idea of being there with, Rita Hayworth, and it's a great, great piece. I mean, geez, what a job they did.
Michael Jackson more or less created the music video genre. He's had some of the most expensive music videos in the history of the genre. And it was up to us to make these films as good as anything he had ever done. Smooth Criminal was probably the most relevant work that came out of this project because it's literally the last film that Michael Jackson will ever appear in.
You want me to do count 3 like they do in the movies?
You've been hit by, you missed a smooth criminal.